seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, big and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, that is the song. With joyful ring, all caroling, one seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they round, raising the sound, all in the dance, telling the sound. Glory, glory, in excelsis Deo. Glory, glory, on the bells, who seem to say, Christmas is here, bringing the cheer to young and old, big and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, raising the sound, all in a dance, and in a dance. Hey, 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 while people sing songs of good cheer, Christmas is here. Hey, 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 while people sing songs of good cheer, Christmas is here. Glory, glory, in excelsis Deo. Glory, glory, all seem to say Christmas is here, bringing good cheer. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, raising the sound, all in a dance, and in a dance. Hey, 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 while people sing songs of good cheer, Christmas is here. Hey, 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 while people sing songs of good cheer, Christmas is here. Oh, how the bells all seem to say Christmas is here, bringing good cheer. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, raising the sound, all in a dance, and in a dance. Hey, 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 while people sing songs of good cheer, Christmas is here. Hey, 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 while people sing songs of good cheer, Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. All will be said, all will attend, the legend is told to everyone.
Still going.
I want to see a grown man hit that note. I know y'all can hear me out there, people, but still.
Ding dong, ding dong.
I want to hear a grown man hit that note. I just want to see it. No, I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. So
Now,
last
Joe,
night,
you said that was Tom in there. He was
oh
the
yeah. So when we
singer.
started at that guy, I said, see the little guy that's Tom up front there singing away. But no, actually, I realized that guy's probably older than Tom. Oh, Lord. The video's kind of old. And last night we gave away.
Was that Mormon? Was it was that the Vienna Boys Choir?
Oh no! Now I'd have to go back and look. But we gave away a set of books last night because of it. I asked anybody. I said, if you can tell me what's missing in this, I'll go ahead and give you all a set of books. Man, I must have got 5,000 answers. I'm like, no. And they're like, well, what is it? I said, there's no females. They're like, oh shit, there's not. I'm like, no, there's not one. It's all males, and they're all under the age of puberty so that they can hit those kind of notes.
Yeah.
Oh no! And whoever sent me that question, no, a grown man is not hitting those notes, not without hurting himself severely. I've never personally heard any like that. Tonight's guest is Tom Wood. Y'all should be familiar with Tom. Tom's been on. Now he's never been on this show because this is a new show. What was that?
Feedback. Everything you say kind of goes in a cycle. I'm hearing it 2 or 3 times.
Okay, well that's not good. Hold on.
I'm good here too.
Well,
Yeah,
let me see.
5-second delay.
Is that one of those Arkansas delays?
I don't know. We got to figure it out though. We don't want him to have because I hear everybody else perfect.
Yeah.
Is there anything in here? You know what, Tom? Drop yourself out. Just drop out the system and come back in because you might have got a bad connection when you came in.
So how do I drop that?
Oh wait, wait. Can I kick you out from here?
He's out.
No, I'll kick him out the studio. Kick guest out. Okay, now he should be able to come back now because I know you and I have been talking where there's no feedback.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was Tom Wood. He was here. He had to go he part-times
He's got to
Santa
record his
Claus.
next song. He's got
That's
to
right.
record his next song.
Yes, and he does a little work with Ho Ho. So yes, Ho Ho. Y'all know who Ho Ho is. Ho Ho is the guy who brings all the women Santa Clauses. I mean, the elves gifts. What? No, I see. I'm a little scary to listen to this kind of religious music sometimes. I'm always scared I might explode or turn into flames. I'm banned from going in any Catholic churches. I'm actually banned. The last 3 times I walked into one, they just caught on fire. It's like spontaneous combustion, not me, but the church. I don't know. No, actually, a friend of mine who's got a Baptist church said, "Well, I don't want you to tempt fate. You might not want to come in here either." I was like, "What?" Who said that? No, when I was young, I was really good and sweet and innocent. I didn't get bad until I got bad, which was later in life. It's all Linda's fault. I don't know who she is. Don't worry about it.
Linda is not the fault. She
is. She's at fault, man.
Dare badmouth Linda. She is a good person.
Did it get any better for you, boss?
It's much better.
All right, cool. Yeah, must do. Sometimes when you come in, it gets a double feedback. No, I'm telling you, she corrupted me. I was sweet and innocent.
She did not.
Joe, I wasn't bad. I didn't smoke.
Joe, no, Linda's a good person. She's your wife. You're to honor and respect her. Knock it off.
Oh Lord. No, I'm from the South where you're supposed to beat them every Sunday with a belt because they get
Joe. No,
Oh
Joe.
God.
No,
you're digging yourself a
bad Joe.
deep hole.
Bad Joe.
No, really. There's actually a book on the books in Baloo. It's a French law in Louisiana. Every Sunday, you're allowed to beat your wife with a 4-inch strap because you can't leave marks. It's legal. Don't ask me why they haven't taken up the book.
Well, it's a good thing. This is the author's Quill talking about Tom's art and books and all kinds of things.
Yeah, well, that's good. No, that's if you live in Louisiana, it's a good thing to know because these ladies these days are crazy. No, I'm just kidding, gal. Any moans, groans, bitches, and complaints, it's always the same thing. Write to Michelle DeRoche. Yes. That's who you write to, Michelle DeRoche. Yes. No, I'm serious. That's who you write to. Anyway, Tom, how you been, man? Life's treating you good down there, there, I should say.
Well, it's been good. It's been a very busy summer and fall. Had some really fun projects. I got to work with The Rock on some stuff with Under Armour. I've been working with the show Wicked Tuna on the History Channel, doing some products and some packaging designs and marketing stuff for them. And Steve Harvey from Family Feud, I got to work with him on some projects. So it's just been fun. It's been very busy.
No, Jeanette, he's married, so don't even worry about it. Yes, I met his wife. She'd smack you upside the head, buddy. You just go on with your little
His
stuff.
wife is beautiful.
She's very nice too.
She's, as I said in the Lensman series, she's DDG. She's drop dead gorgeous.
Yes. And what's that? No, okay. So Michael, I'll get you to talk about it in a minute. I met Tom in LA. I was just harassing the man the whole time because these little girls were following him around like. So my first okay, I got to tell y'all this. My very first impression of Tom is I'm sitting off in a distance, and somebody said that's Tom. Well, I didn't know who he was because it's the first time I've ever seen the guy. So I'm standing there. There's like 5 of these little girls. When I say little girls, these are grown ass women about 40 years old. They just like circling him like vultures. I'm like, damn, man. I mean, he's good looking, but Jesus, they're about to eat him for lunch. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to get hurt when I see him this year. It was great. I actually got some pictures of that, but I didn't want to put it online because I was scared somebody might hurt me. But Tom, I got to say, man, I'll have to show you the picture one day. You'll love it. It was just like, anyway, they were being very helpful, and we'll leave it at that.
I think they were helpful. I mean, everybody had Brothers of the Future and the staff there, and even
they're great people. They really
contestants are so helpful. I think you might have mistook their helpfulness for something else, but
yeah, that's just Joe being bad.
Yeah, no. Joe's been around for a while.
Fa la 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 la. You just
Joe's been around. He knows he can see certain smiles, what they actually mean and what they don't. No, they're actually everybody over there is great. I mean, the whole staff is fabulous. I've said this a million times. Everybody at Writers of the Future staff is great. Who's my favorite person over there? It's the coffee machine. Okay, that's my favorite person. It's the coffee machine. No, I don't have favorites because you get hurt over there picking favorites and stuff. Nah. And little Sarah might smack your ass hard if you don't pick her. So you
Yeah.
get me. No,
Yeah.
she's tough. So I know we're at the end of the year. You're taking it easy, getting ready for some new projects. Are you going to take a break? Or I know when we were.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take a break for the last, 7 days of the year, 8 days of the year.
Well, that's kind of a break.
Yeah, kind of. I do have some projects to do. I've got a logo that I got to do for the Gathering of the Juggalos. I do that for them every year, and that's a big part of my fan base is Juggalos. And I'm not sure if the audience is familiar with them, but they're fans of Insane Clown Posse, which I've done their artwork for like the past, or a good portion of their artwork for the last 10 years, and just some of the nicest people.
If y'all are watching us right now, his website, the Fantasy Art website, is actually scrolling across the bottom of the page. So if you're watching on Roku, or a matter of fact, it's our first night on Fire Stick tonight. So if you're on Prime and you're watching, you can also click on. Well, you can copy the link and go from there. I don't know. This is really our first night on Prime. I have no idea what Prime's going to do. Roku's been doing pretty good. We've been seeing 20, 30, 40,000 viewers over there. So it's really nice. We're going to see where Prime takes us. But no, Tom's our first guest on Prime. Wolf was the first guest for this show. And this show is the first show to be on Prime, on the Prime network with us.
Wow. What an honor.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's
well, this is growing because Joe used to well, you've been on the guest on this show on whether it's UFO Paranormal or any of the other shows, and just kind of like, what's this have to do with UFOs, or what's this have to do with politics, or what's this have to do with anything? So his solution was to create a new show, which is awesome. The author is Quill. And so we're very excited about, just from my perspective as writers of the future, because we have lots of winners and lots of judges like yourself, both illustrators and writers who have lots of good things to say. And it's amazing just how much the podcast has grown, Writers of the Future podcast, but just there's a lot of writers out there and authors and artists who want to get that break. So being able to listen to people like you talking about, just, I mean, you got your own success that you got, but also some of the different tips and things to be able to help them I think is also really important, especially as, I don't know, I'm out here in California where it's not conducive to survival or something. It's, it's just, I mean, it's just the population dropped again for the third year in a row. It's just,
oh my gosh.
Yes, they're all going to Florida and Texas.
Yeah.
And Nevada. What's that?
So a lot are coming to Arkansas.
A lot are coming to Arkansas.
Yeah, and there's the little Orange County in Idaho is a lot of the people going there now. So it's the red guys are leaving and going there to Idaho to set up stuff. But anyway, it's with everything we've got, being able to listen to you and get what you've had to say. You've done articles in the Rise of the Future series. You've been on the podcast a couple of different times and on the show multiple times. People can really get that. You don't have to, give up and quit. Like your story is an amazing story of persistence, and just despite everything else, just persisting and holding on to that dream. And people need that type of assurance. And that's something that was originally started in '83 when L. Ron Hubbard created this contest. And then because of, some of the first judges of the illustrator contests were like the biggest names in illustration during the pulp era, so Frank Kelly Freeze was the first one, and he was like amazing. And Frank Frazetta was one of the first judges, just like him. Yeah.
It's funny because I actually used Tom. It was about 3 months ago. I was giving a lecture at Mississippi State, and actually somebody was talking to me about. They asked me some questions about Writers of the Future because I was actually there for politics, and but I always, for some reason, I guess now I've been doing it long enough with them that I get asked questions, and I'm talking to them, and somebody says, "Well, do you know if any of these guys are famous?" I said, "Well, some of the judges are really famous, and some of the judges are quite wealthy, and some judges." Get a break, some don't. I said, but a friend of mine, Tom Woods, when I first met him, what the hell happened here? Sorry about that, guys. Apparently I had fat fingeritis there.
That's all right.
I said, I was talking about your first picture. Where was it now? I always want to say Walmart. Where was it? Not Walmart.
Yeah, my first poster was in Walmart.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. So I bring it up and they're like, what? I said, yeah. I said, I think it shocked him how many he sold in the beginning. They're like, I said, you can't give up people because you never know what is it, the thing that's going to just take off. You just never know what it's going to be.
Right. And
But-
the great thing about the program at through Galaxy Press and Writers of the Future was that these kids that come in are looking for answers on how to take this with their love, their hobby that they've done through high school and grade school, and figure out a way to make a living at it. And there's no other program I've ever seen that does what Writers of the Future does for these artists. I mean, they bring in the biggest names in the art world, fantasy art world, commercial, and they will teach you all the newest techniques. They will teach you how to market yourself, how to conduct yourself on interviews, especially Joe's excellent at that. And, and show you, tell you their own stories. This is how, because everyone's is different, but how to make your path and just how to be persistent and go through those doors when they open, because they may open only once in a lifetime. But those doors can lead to other opportunities that can make or break careers. And you just got to have the courage and a little bit of wisdom to be able to go through them and succeed. So it's not easy. The artist path is difficult, and it's scary. Sometimes you don't get to stay at home and do this in your basement forever.
Yeah.
You have to move all over the country or overseas.
Got to go where the money is. I mean, that's how it is.
You make it, and then you can be a little more selective where you want to stay. But breaking into the field is not just based on talent and even technique. It's based on relationships. The relationship that got me that first poster in Walmart was a friend of mine who I'd worked with in Tallahassee, Florida, had emailed me and said that they're having this company's having a contest to see who could come up with the best dragon. And so I did it on a whim, knocked it out in a day and sent it in, and it won. And it sold thousands of units. And of course, the licensing company came back and said, you got more of these, and then I dropped another one. And then the Phoenix Rising, which is probably my biggest seller, it hit, and it stayed in the poster bins for 2 years and sold like millions of units. And so even though I had a very successful commercial marketing business, my love was always from seeing Frank Frazetta's works in the late 70s, especially on his Death Dealer work that he did for the Molly Hatchet album. That kind of changed.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Changed my entire outlook on what art needs to be, what excited me. That was always something that I wanted to do. What I had to do was go into marketing and commercial artwork at first, just to make a living, and then build on my fantasy artwork. And then that took off in the early 2000s, and I've been able to build both companies. But the commercial stuff still pays good. I'm not walking away from that, but the fantasy art is really where my passion is.
Yeah, well, you got to eat. Fantasy art is great anyway, but I mean, anyway it goes, you still got to eat.
That's right.
Well, B. Jackson, she was a winner in volume. I think she was a grand prize winner in volume 24. You were talking about relationships. There was one of her friends, because she had her relationships with other, artists, and somebody couldn't handle the job, so they referred her instead. And so she ended up illustrating this book that turned to be a New York Times bestseller. It was the one with Michelle Obama, the one where she was, the little girl,
right.
Somebody looks up. So she did that. And then all of a sudden that just like, it was because somebody else couldn't handle it. So she was given that contact. She submitted and they said, okay, good, we'll do it. And she wrote, she called me and she called Echo, said, now, what should I do in this? Because she didn't know what, she never had it before. So she called like, this is what the contract says. And what about this? And what about that? So we helped her, what to do. And it just totally took her up to a whole new level. And then she did a book also for LeBron James. And so she's definitely in a whole new league now because of that. And then I just interviewed Chris Arias. He was a winner last year from Costa Rica. Yeah. So he was, because he came to Hollywood, he was like a Costa Rican hero. They were like, wow, you made it out of Costa Rica. So he was covered in all the national televisions, 3 different stations. He was covered there. He had a major feature article. He was invited because Dan Farr, who was our keynote speaker this year and owns several comic conventions in the U.S., called the owner of the Costa Rica Comic Convention. And because of that contact, he then invited Chris and made him a special illustrator guest for the convention. A few weeks ago, he was a guest of honor at the Costa Rica Christmas Parade. He was there honored in the Christmas Parade. And he said, he said, what that's been done. He said, somebody stopped him on the street, said, "Oh, are you that guy that won the Oscar?" And, so it was, he said, my life has totally changed since doing that. So now he's got commission work he's doing, but he's trying to move into sequential art. And I introduced him to Cirello in Spain, and he was totally like humbled to be able to get that connection and help him get started. So he's just like, that's that, you said the connections, and that's the winners have a chance to meet you and Larry Elmore and those other types of judges that just Echo and Lazarus are just totally willing to help. So it's an amazing thing, when people can connect up to folks like you.
Well, one of the questions that came in was Kevin said he asked me what I found most interesting about the judges. I mean, first off, the illustrated judges are characters to start off with, so they're just a lot of fun. But what I really mean is what impressed me about all the judges, because first off, I'm an outside, I'm not an illustrator or I'm just press, and I was watching from the outside, and it amazed me that they're just everyday people. No, I mean, literally, everybody's got an ego because everybody has to have an ego for what they do for a living, but it's not the kind of ego that gets in the way. I watched them with all of these people, and trust me, they had far more patience than I do. I'm just not even gonna lie about it. I watch, like when Tom would get surrounded, or Echo would get surrounded, or Tim would get surrounded, or Jody would get surrounded, and they would just work their way through the crowd and talk and very nicely, and this is how you should do this, and this is how you should do that, or come sit in the class. And it amazed me because really and truly, and some of them are quite wealthy, they're still everyday people. And let me tell you what, I deal with a lot of wealthy people, and a lot of them are not everyday people. A lot of them are, I'm not going to say what they are on the radio, but some of them are still customers. But still, it's different. It's one of the things that really, truly impressed me more about the judges than even their knowledge or even what they had done was the fact that they were just everyday people. Oh,
I'll tell you something too, because I'm the one that picks the judges.
Mm-hmm.
Is one thing they all have in common, separate from being pros, because you've got, there's a lot of good people out there, a lot of very talented artists and authors out there, but the one characteristic and one quality that is senior to everything else is their willingness to help, their desire to help and willingness to help. And if you've got somebody who's willing to help, that's what you're seeing there. You've got some people, they're great, but they're just, no, I'm not interested. I'm not, I don't like teaching. I don't like working with other people. And we're like, okay, cool. More power to you. But that's not the caliber of people we use as judges. And sometimes I've had some amazing people. I've talked to them, and, after talking to them, you're like, okay, good. Well, it's great knowing you. I'll invite you onto the podcast, so I won't take it any further. It's just like, if they're not willing to help, and if that's not part of what they're willing to do, then that's not what we're looking for.
I mean, it's the judge corps is a really good group. I mean, I couldn't fault any of them. I mean, there's a lot of differences between them. It's not like they're all out of cookie cutter molds or anything.
No, definitely not.
They're very different. And Marcus, to answer your question, no. So really fast, because I don't want to take too much of time up. So really and truly, the illustrators as they get older are much more outgoing than the authors are for some reason. But if you flip that and go back to when they're just starting out, the authors are much more outgoing than the illustrators are. The young illustrators are very inverted. They're very, very withdrawn. Matter of fact, you can go look at the interviews I've done so far. So the interviews done in LA with the illustrators last about 18 minutes. The ones with the authors last about an hour and a half. I'm not shitting you. It's amazing what the difference is. And now we got to improve because we got 4 years of it now, so you can actually see it for yourself. But as they get older, it changes. The successful illustrators are, I guess, because they've reached their passions. They've got to do the things that they wanted to do, like what Tom was talking about earlier. So it allows them to be much more outgoing in their life. And I see that for myself, and I'm like, wow, this is just interesting to watch.
It
I should
does.
write a book.
No, you're right, because we've got unfairly, I don't know about unfairly, it's probably warranted, but we've got the reputation that the party is with the artist, after the lessons are over for the day and you want to go hang out and have fun, hang out with the artist because
Hang out with the
we're a little crazier. And you're right, we do have a little bit of an ego, and you're right, you kind of have to have that kind of level of confidence to wade into hundreds of thousands of artists that are out there and think that you can go in and do the job and confidently.
Yes.
So and that's why Joe hangs out with us.
That's why I go track them down. Say, where the hell are these guys? Oh no, really, really, truly, people. No, there's nothing like any of that going on. I mean, everybody's really polite, and it's not that we don't drink. It's just nobody's sloppy, drunk, or stupid, or anything like that. Not that I've seen in the 4 years I've been there now.
No,
I've never seen anything like that. The only bad people was Chris, and he was just bad. We had to send him back to Australia. I'm just teasing.
He's in Poland or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think he said he was in Poland last time I talked to him.
Yeah, I've got to finish reading his book. He's got a book that he wrote, and I'll be having him on as a guest in the next month or two.
Yes, he's a character, is all I can say. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, a grand prize winner from volume 36 or something like that.
Yeah, but he's a lot of fun, but he's also makes my point too. You can see how outgoing he is. It's just different. It's just one of those things that you see when you watch. And well, if you just watch individuals, you're never going to see it. But I'm seeing them as in groups, so it's different for me. I see them in big groups. I see, not just the winners, but I see the judges as well. And I can actually watch the differences between the judges and winners. And it's the confidence level really just comes from selling, doing your job and making money. And that's where the confidence comes from. And the youngins don't always have that because they really haven't had those kind of big sales that make them think, oh shit, I'm actually worth something. So that has to be instilled into people, unfortunately, guys and girls. Some people.
Well, one of the things that happens too, and I think Tom, you've seen, I know Joe, you have too, is on that the art reveal when the artists and the authors meet, with the art for the first time when the story. That's such a tearjerker event,
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely, very emotional. I mean, those artists when they've had the stories that's been illustrated with their artwork and they get to see it for the first time is really the highlight.
It is.
You would think it was the award ceremony. It's not so much. I mean, they've kind of gotten used to it, but that unveiling early on in the
workshop
program is just tear jerking. So
it is. It's a room full of tears.
The part you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed at how many of them pick them out right off the bat. I mean, how many of the authors pick it out right off the bat?
But it's funny because the illustrators are solely worried that the artist isn't going to recognize it. They'll think, "Oh no, what'd you do?" And then the writers are so concerned that they couldn't get anything out of their story because it was so bad. They're both equally as worried that the opposite isn't going to like what they did. And then when they come and see it, and you just see that instant, like the melting of everything, all their worries and concerns, and it explodes in that emotion.
And they have to realize that when you got an art director like Echo, who's done this for so many years, she can understand exactly what that writer's trying to relay, and can put it in words that even the youngest, most inexperienced artist can understand and follow that. So just let Echo direct and trust her, and she'll nail it every time, and she does.
Yeah. And she's talking about Echo Turnick, who is a fabulous lady. She's another one that's fun to hang out with. No, you can't get the three of us together. We're going to get banned 1 year.
Yeah, that's never good.
No, she's a lot of fun and she's extremely talented. But we were talking about this. I had Shoemaker on last week, and we were talking about the importance of a good book cover. Because, and I've said this 100,000 times. I have bought books based on the cover, didn't even flip the damn book open, just looked at the cover and bought it. Now, sometimes I was really happy. When you looked at that cover, it kind of gave you an idea what the story was. Sometimes I looked at the book cover and it gave you an idea what the story was, but that's not what the actual story was. It was some other bullshit that had nothing to do with what was on the cover. So, and those actually aggravate me, but once you buy it, you buy it. It's but it is important, and it will make a big difference in how many books you can sell. Until you hit that point that everybody knows or heard about your book, that cover makes a big difference in who's going to pick up that damn book and buy it.
100%.
When you're standing there looking at 50, 80 books on a stand and you see that, wow, the cover jumps out, you're like, oh, well, let's go check this out. And a lot of times you don't have time to read it right there. You just purchase it and go on. It makes a big difference. And I noticed that some of the people I talked to hadn't quite grasped that concept. I'm like, well, you better make sure you got a damn good cover is all I'm telling you.
That's right.
Yeah. So Tom, now you've done several book covers, right?
Yes, I have done several.
You did one for Rise of the Future recently.
Yeah, I do. I've got it actually right here, which was, yeah, this is.
Just happen to have it right here.
Oh yeah,
okay. Yeah, it's always right here.
Yeah, this is the cover that I did last year, and yeah, this was you guys hit me up like last September, I think it was. I think Dan DeSantos, who is a good friend of mine, an amazing artist, he was sort of scheduled to do the cover. And of course, Dan's amazing. He works for does artwork for Marvel Comics and stuff like that. So he's got a huge, big reputation, and tons of respect for me. So when he was unable to do it, and I kind of got the nod asked to do it after that, I jumped on it. But then, Dan had turned it down, so I've got to compete with Dan DeSantis, which just sucks.
He's got this year's
another
cover.
one that's fun.
He did this year's cover. He's got this year's volume 40 coming out.
Really? Have you seen it? Have you seen the cover already?
Of course.
Really?
See, that's not even fair. We don't get to know what the cover is.
I was with him when he came up with the idea for that cover, and unless he's changed it, I can't. I'm not want to talk about it now. But we came up with it on air. We were in LA, me and Larry, and Dan, and he knew that he was going to be doing it this year, and we concocted this fantastic concept for a cover. And I hope
that
Larry Elmore, by the way.
Did he follow through with that idea?
I don't know, but when we're done, we'll set up and I'll pull up so you can see it, and you can let me know if that's.
Yeah. Yes, guys, they were talking about Larry Elmore from Dungeons and Dragons.
For not sending me some progress or at least some thumbnails or something on it.
I know. He's
watching.
So you're talking about three of the great artists in the country right now, illustrators in the country right now, with Dan and Larry and Tom himself. So, Larry Elmore, guys, he's Dungeons and Dragons. Oh yeah, y'all know who he is. You bunch of geeks.
And Dragonlance, yeah.
Dragonlance. And the only person I've ever met that can actually out-talk me. Probably in circles at that, man. It's just, I can't keep up with him. He's great. He's just great.
But one thing that I really think is that people will like hearing is Tom's timeline as an artist. I was amazed when we had down and chatted, and how he first started and made it all the way up to where he is right now. Because, like I said, when we first started this show, it's like he's an amazing story of persistence. And I mean, you're from a really small town, and how you made it. There's for someone, because it's really easy to come up with your ready-made excuses why you can't be successful, why you can't make it. I was this and I was that, and I had this against me. And I mean, you had your fair share of reasons why you couldn't, but yet you have. So a little bit of what you did. Well,
I mean, I come from a little country town in Arkansas. My graduating class was 18 kids. I mean, of course, there was no social media. We didn't even have an art class in high school until I was a senior. And then then it was, Tom is kind of the art class artist. Let's put him over there with an airbrush and he can make t-shirts we could sell and raise money. Buy some more art stuff since we're broke, and our school was just always just broke. But anyway, it's a tiny little country school. But you didn't even think about that. All you thought about, this is what I want to do. And when I was in first grade, I decided that I was going to be an artist. And there was never any plan B after that.
That's fabulous. I wish I could have been like that, man.
Yeah. I mean, there was never any, I really don't have any other skills other than raising cows and possibly.
Yeah, that's a good skill, though. Let's not lie.
All in the artwork and kind of, just hope for the best.
What's Black Angus going for right now? 5G's a cow or something? So it's a good skill to have. Let's not lie.
Well, it's Red Brangus, actually, which are the best by far. Yeah. So anyway, Red Brangus.
Okay. They're excellent. We had this, and I don't want to get off the sidetrack, but we had this conversation versus Southern Angus against Wahoo beef, and what do you like better? Anyway, we're not going to finish it tonight, but it was a good conversation.
Anyway, so you're at first grade right now, so keep on going.
Right. Yeah. And so I'm in first grade. I decided that I had drawn this one piece. It was an underwater scene, and my first grade teacher was just so blown away by it. She brought me up to the front of the class and made all the kids stop what they were doing and look, and had me describe, this is how I done this. And because at the time, all my other classmates were doing like figure eights for fish with a flat edge for a tail, and then it's just a squiggly line. And mine had waves and seaweed and starfish and sharks swimming around. And so the kids really didn't understand why the teacher was so impressed with this, and they just give her this blank stare. So she just grabs me and she hauls me across the hallway into second grade and stops their class and makes me show them my artwork. And still, I don't think that she got the
reaction. Yeah.
But anyway, I guess it established me as like the school artist, even in first grade. And then I kind of enjoyed that attention. That was always something that I could cling to, no matter where I was in sports or academics and stuff like that. Tom's the art guy. So everybody would always crowd around and, be waiting to see. We had to do a book report with an illustration. Everybody couldn't wait to see, whatever I'd done with it. So, but at the end of school, it was 11th grade. I'd started looking at colleges, and I started doing illustrations even in high school for the local paper, all the political illustrations. I was getting $25 a pop at it. So I thought I was just rolling in cash at the time. So,
well, when you're young,
Yeah. But after that, I went to the University of Arkansas. They had of course, they didn't have computers at the time. It was all very traditional. Had some great instructors. And then I got an opportunity to become an art director from a person in Memphis, Tennessee at Champion Awards. Bobby Wright was the production manager. He knew my dad and gave me the opportunity to come and work there, paying me more than what my instructors told me to expect when I got out. So I made that leap of faith into professional artwork when I was 19. And at 19, I was an assistant art director at 19. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Had never been in a real city before. And just kind of figured it out. And within a month, they had fired the art director, made me art director. So I was a 19-year-old art director of the 8th largest contract printer in the country at the time. And which was a lot of pressure. But if you stuck, and I hired probably 20 artists that came in, burn out, and left. But if you could stick with it, if you could stick with the 80 hours a week, the weekends, you learned more in a year than you learned in 4 years in college. It was just on the job intense training, major level, just really shoot up. And then once I got to a certain level, then the headhunter started coming through and offer me jobs at Salem Sportswear, which is the biggest sports licensing company in the country at the time. And then I took that job in New Hampshire after 2.5 years in Memphis, was the senior designer at Salem Sportswear for 2 years, and then got hired as the creative director at Starter for special events when I was 24, and was doing shirts for Michael Jordan, all the shirts that you've seen on when they put the shirts on after the big games, after the championship games, or on the parades. I did all those graphics for them, and did that for 3 years, and it was just a ton of fun. But one of my so in 1998, Starter closed its doors, even though special events and printing was making money hand over fist. They tried to sell the company, and that went along with it. So when that happened, I decided to come back here to Arkansas, start my own business, Meridian, because I had so many contacts in Connecticut where Starter was, and just did ad agency work for a few years, and then started my fantasy art stuff, and was doing great at that. And then one of my old colleagues at Salem Sportswear called me up because she had left there and was a creative director at Live Nation, and she started giving me jobs doing work for Kiss and Aerosmith. And then ultimately she gave me the biggest license name out there at the time at Hot Topics and Spencer's was Insane Clown Posse. That was their big ticket item. So when they hit me with that, I did an entire series of them. In fact, I've done like 50 graphics through Live Nation over the years for Insane Clown Posse, and got a huge Juggalo following, and that's still a big part of my fan base. And I've been doing, I still go to all their functions. I go to the gathering, the Juggalos every year, even though I don't look like it. Those some of my best friends in the world are Juggalos. They've been like the most supportive people on the planet for me. So, and that's why in 2020, when everything shut down, even the gathering, the Juggalos shut down this year. And I decided, since Arkansas is in the middle of nowhere and we don't like to listen to people, I decided to put together my own event, which was called Tom Wood's The Float, which you come down to my hometown, you float Spring River with me and the artists that have been there, because I brought all of these Juggalo artists from the underground rap scene to my little town. We have a huge event. It's a 4-day event, and all we have stages set up. We have contests and events, and then we get to float the river with me because I've been floating it since I was just a little kid. I floated it at least 1,000 times. And I take them down the river twice, and every night we come back to a huge night of music and festivities, and it's just contests, and it's just a big time. But it's just amazing to see where I started at, to see the opportunities that's arose out of just pure luck, it seems, or fate, possibly. But it's always had to do with the connection, whether it was Kerry Gallagher at Live Nation that gave me that opportunity to do the ICP stuff, and then the fact that the fans seemed to embrace me with ICP and started bringing me to their events, and I was able to work on so many different projects with these guys because, I've had Shaggy Tudo from Insane Clown Posse. He comes to Little Mammoth Spring, Arkansas and performs for these people at the float. And it's just kind of surreal sometimes to see if you just keep at it, try to keep a positive attitude and just do some things that are scary every once in a while to see what can happen. It's really pretty inspiring.
Yes, I'd still be working for McDonald's if I gave up. Don't get me wrong, as a GM, they we're talking 40 years ago, but as a GM, they paid me, I was making $175 a year plus bonus. So today you probably make more than that. But guys, don't take that to heart. You got to have a big store. You can't be in a little store. A little store probably $60,000, $70,000 a year. Unless you got a Mardi Gras store, and that's probably $250,000 plus $250,000 in bonus. Yes. Believe it or not, you can make some money flipping burgers. But I couldn't do it. I've never been a 9-to-5 guy. It's always been a problem for me. And I like to be able to work my own schedules. And I'd like to stay up late at night, so it's never conducive when you got to get up at 6 a.m.
Tom, you've got your cows that you have to do, and you have your art. How does your schedule work?
You just you got to have some people to help. You can't do it all by yourself. Of course, I was raised out here on this. I'm the 7th generation of Wood on this little piece of property out here. We got 500 acres. And then, out here in Arkansas, that's home. It has been home for my family for years. And when this piece of property that I'm on came up next to it, I had to jump on it, and we added it to the family property and just try to keep expanding. And but being able to be next door to your family and have them as a support system has been the only way. You can't do with the schedule that I have when it comes to artwork, not only commercial, but fantasy and entertainment. It's hard to schedule, and you just have to work around it. And then of course, my dad is, he's like Sam Elliott, John Wayne mixed together. He's a working beast. I'll never be as awesome as he is. He's just, he's 77 years old, and there's no quit in him. And so, without that, he takes care of the cows mostly. We have a couple of hired hands that help out. My nephew Seth Wood, he moved down here to help out, and not only did we have the farm, but we have the cows. My parents own a restaurant in town called the Riverbend Restaurant, which is overlooks Spring River. It's gorgeous. If you come through Mammoth, you'll have to stop by and eat there. But we've got lots of irons in the fire, which keeps us going, keeps us young.
Staying busy does keep you young. I like to be busy. You're not going to write a up grave. I was laying around. How was that? I don't know. I can't sit still. John can't still. You can't. There's the three of us probably. If you put us in a room, said you'd sit still. I don't know which one of us head would pop off first.
Yeah.
We were I was sitting down at the restaurant last year talking, and two of the winners, and they were like, "Does anybody ever sit still here?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "They'll go sit down and have lunch or have a drink or something." I said, "But mostly everybody's busy." I said, "And everybody wants everybody's attention." I said, "So everybody's busy." But last year was the most I've ever had to introduce winners to judges. The first three groups I met were a little bit more aggressive, I guess is the way to say it. This group they were kind of scared to go up and talk to people. I said, "Well, hold on," because sometimes I'd be sitting there having a drink or eating something, and I'd hear them talking. I said, "Well, you want to meet him? Hold on." I just walked over and said, "Hey, look, such and such, such and such, such and such," and that was the end of that. And if they were busy, they said, "Come back." If they didn't want, they chit chatted with them. It's just a little strange, though. It was a little on the strange side.
Yeah, I would invite most of the artists because there's so much information that's given during the program itself or during the event.
Yeah.
But that downtime where you get those little nuggets of wisdom and information and inspiration from these artists is huge. So I know mostly when it comes to artists, they're very introverted, like Joe said, especially in their younger parts of their career. But just step up and come along with us. There's always a handful. I know 2 years ago when we had Zane and all those guys was the winner. Dan. They were just an excellent bunch of guys and girls, and they were fearless. And they just tagged along. They were right there. They acted like they belonged, and they've known us for years. And I still am in touch with those guys. Brent, great guy. All very talented group of winners that year.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd say just get past your fears and get over them. We're not going to bite. We're a lot of fun, and I think that you can learn a lot just tagging along with us and just being comfortable enough to ask the questions that don't worry about you're going to look stupid in front of us. You don't know us.
No.
So
and you can't worry about looking stupid. I mean, somewhere in the world, at some point in the world, you're going to look stupid. Just deal with it and just move on with life.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah. One thing I know with illustrators and with writers too is like it's a very lonely career. You're there in your own studio painting, and like as an artist or a writer, you're bearing your soul with what you're creating, and then you put it out there. And that one thing. And I do recommend that because there's only 12 writers and 12 artists that come out as winners. But we do try to do, this show is part of the solution, but also the podcast I do also gets people giving their stories and tips. But one thing that I think is really important is that you've got to have yourself, and you can talk about this too a little bit, Tom, is the right friends. Because if you have people that are the wrong friends, they're the ones that will come in there and just say, I wouldn't give up my day job if I were you. That type of communication, they're going to hold you down. They're going to keep you introverted and not going. So how have you dealt with that, Tom?
It's maybe by the luck of the draw, John, but my parents were always, even though my dad's a farmer, he's a cattle rancher. And I know that he wants nothing more than to see me, pick up the herd and move on with it. And I certainly plan to do that. But, at a young age, he was thinking I'm going to move off to New York and be an artist. And, there goes the farm after that. But even through that, he was incredibly supportive. He would take the time to talk about how good this piece of artwork was. Everything went on the refrigerator at the end of the day that I would bring home. And even the teachers, that knew that it could be a very hungry existence as an artist. I would draw these masterpieces on my desk at school, and they would isolate them, isolate that desk and don't let other students molest it or smear it or anything like that. And it's just a small school. It was just a perfect recipe to allow me to, become confident and even arrogant about it when I was young. And of course, when I got to Salem Sportswear, where they had a huge staff of artists, it humbled me very quickly. And I learned that didn't know near as much as I thought I did. And of course, Photoshop, Illustrator, and all the different illustration programs that we still use today were just coming online. So we were all learning at the same time, and but they were ahead of me, and I knew it, and that bothered me. I don't like to lose. You know, like just like that dragon I did last year. I don't like to lose to Dan DeSantos. I don't, you know. I want to see sales numbers at the end of this year versus last year. So based on those covers. So and that's the same way, even, you know, except when it comes to someone like Larry, who's like this icon, you know, Larry Elmore, who I grew up looking at, doesn't, you know, you'll never get as good as Larry. So and then John mentioned earlier Frank Frazetta, who was
Frank's a beast,
was the man. You know, he's the one that sort of created the entire culture of fantasy artwork. He created the entire look that we all follow to a certain extent. Having someone like that was doing the job that I get to do for Writers of the Future now means more than I can put into words. So that's kind of a dream fulfilled, being in the same footprints as he is.
That's amazing. It's interesting because you had that going with your school. We had a winner a few years ago, Irmak Kevun. She goes by Max. She was just coming out to UCLA or USC, and she's from Turkey. And where she was there, her parents were both doctors, but her teachers were saying, "Don't do art, quit. You know, really totally discouraging." She was being discouraged right and left, and so she would she'd have to find scrap paper to draw on, and she'd get pencils, and she'd, you know, and a knife to open up the lead so she could do her sketches like that. And she said it was amazing. She was so discouraged. She came out here and it totally lifted up. Her parents were behind it, but all her teachers, don't do this. No, you know, quit, give up. And she was totally suppressed from doing her art. And so when she came out to LA, she's one of my favorite recent winners because her persistence, despite amazing counter efforts against her, she came out here and she became, as a freshman, lead designer in computer graphics in a senior class. She's just so focused and dedicated, like you're talking about with what you did. And that's the other extreme of like persistence, you know, and just, you know, that purpose. You know, she knew she wanted to be an artist from a very, very young age, and she's just holding to that dream and not letting anything get in the way. So it really is a matter of persistence.
You got to be persistent to make anything in life, and,
right.
and anything worth having is worth fighting for, people. So
absolutely,
it's I do know a few successful people that I guess you could say it was handed to them, but for the most part, everybody I know who's successful, and I know quite a few of them, they work pretty damn hard to get where they are today. And they don't give up. You can't quit. I mean, even if for some reason you get a bad review, you can't quit. It's like when I interviewed Rachel Maddow, I thought for sure that was going to be the worst interview I ever did. It turned out not to be. So you got to plug through it and hope for the best. And sometimes you'll be surprised. And like we were saying earlier, you just never know what's going to take off, especially today when something go viral on the internet in 15 minutes. You just never know. Might hit the TikTok circuit. And next thing you know, it's around the planet in an hour. And you also, I got a good friend of mine who's a female on TikTok who makes $600,000 a month, knowing she doesn't do anything naughty or anything like that. She just comes on and talks about how she cooks and her friends. That's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, it really is. Don't get me wrong, I love her to death, but 600 G's a month. I'm like, come on. I'm in the long parade of work. Yeah, I can show y'all some boobies. Look, it's just bad. It's just bad. If you win, you get the me time. Yes. Or if you happen to be, or you come out to the float, you get the me time.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, yeah. It's no, I was going to go this year, but I didn't realize it was the same weekend at Dragon Con. So I was up at Dragon Con this year, but yeah, I'm gonna go see him next year because I love a good float down the river. There's several good ones around here, so it's a nice thing. I haven't done it in a while, but it's a nice thing.
Yeah, it's 12.
That's how we originally met Tom. That's how we originally met you. Was at Dragon Con about 1,000 years ago. It seems like your wife and your daughter.
Right. It was 2010, and I fate had put your booth right next to mine, and that was my
Yeah.
first show. I just written the book Hellfire Plague of Dragons and done all the artwork in it and the cover and even the story. But Robert Weinberg had done the writing for it, and I was doing a book signing for that. I had Pacific Trading had done all of these ceramic figurines for my dragons and stuff, and it was I had tons of product. Unfortunately, I had no idea what I was doing there, and so my booth was a wreck. And
That's when you needed Sarah, buddy.
that's where I met Sarah. She was like, let me help you here, Tom. You were just obviously from the country, and you have no idea what's going on.
No,
I've been doing this for a while, even though she's
in
like,
love with you. They
however-
totally love you, your wife, and your daughter.
oh, Sarah's such a sweetheart.
so,
Y'all don't know who Sarah is, people. All I can tell you is she's Sarah. That's the best way I can tell you. That's who she is.
So yeah, we've been friends ever since. The whole group at Riders of the Future.
And don't stand
Yeah,
around.
we just
the
came
show.
back last week from the Stetson Country Christmas. It was a 10-day cowboy show. So we had all of the L. Ron Hubbard Western books we sold there. We sold 1,000 books, but I love it because I get to wear my cowboy hat and my boots. And Emily got this shirt for me and a brand new Western jacket. So I was like, if you get an outfit, you can be a cowboy too. So I was,
That's
I
right.
was like ready to
Cowboy.
go. Exactly.
I haven't worn a cowboy hat, and I couldn't even tell you the last time. When I was young, I did from time to time, but I haven't worn one in a while. Because I had a weird upbringing. I was born in the bayou, lived in the city, then raised in the country, then back to the bayou. We had about my family. They had about 2,000 acres up in northern Louisiana. We used to go hang out at all the time with cows and hogs all over the place. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. So their idea was, at one time they had this big, huge hog pen. So they got out and they said, "To hell with it, just let them run wild." So you'd be in the woods, there'd be 80 hogs come running by. Yeah, don't fall off your horse here, man.
Yeah, Joe used to go out at nighttime and do some cow tipping.
I used to go out at nighttime and do some shopping. I'm not gonna get into that. That's not that it's a long time ago. So I think the statute of limitations might be up, but no, I was really lucky. For me, it was a great upbringing. I got to experience my bayou friends, my city friends, and my country friends, and I got to live in all three worlds. So I really got a way different upbringing than most people do. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, no, it really was. But it really screwed my accent up. So especially when I'm traveling, it just goes off into some tizzy. What's that, Denise? We mean you can go right there at what is it, Timewood Fantasy Art and take a look around. He's got more than one site, but that's the site we have.
Yeah,
up, right?
TimewoodFantasyArt.com. You can see like my fantasy art collection, my entertainment collection, which is mostly ICP because I have a huge amount of fans with the Juggalos.
ICP is in Klein Cloud Posse.
Insane Clown Posse, correct.
Yeah.
And then you can go to like MeridianDesignWorks.com, which is a lot of my corporate clients like Pepsi, NASCAR, NBA, NFL, and the list goes on. But there's lots of examples of illustration work that's been done for those clients over the years. So I try to keep them all separate.
What do you mean? Never mind. Yeah, we're not even going there. We're just going to move that over to the side and ignore whatever that. You know what? Let's just move it like that. Yeah, we're not even going there. So I'm sorry, I gotta stop laughing for a minute. It's Christmas, so I'm gonna let y'all slide, people. I'm just gonna let y'all slide. So you're home for the holiday? You up in Arkansas? You relaxing, taking it easy?
Yeah,
chilling?
yeah. I'm in home for the duration.
How's the weather up there? I mean, we're getting rain.
Today was nice. It's probably
today's beautiful. But
60 degrees out there today, and
that's
sunny. It's nice out.
It's about 65 today and sunny, but supposedly it's going to start raining today and rain through Monday night. So we'll see how that goes. Well, a lot of times we share the same weather, y'all, except y'all get snow and we rarely ever see the white stuff. No, people, it don't snow down where I live. And if it does snow, we can't see. We can call it snow, but if y'all were down here, y'all would be like, "This is not snow." Maybe John, because he's but everybody else would be like, "This is not snow. This is some ice. It looks like snow." The most I've ever seen where I live right now is 2 inches. That was it. Yes, that's the most I've ever seen. So that's not really snow. And people in Louisiana don't understand, or Mississippi, that you have to start to stop 10 minutes before the stop sign. All you see is whoosh, as people slide through the stop signs and the red lights. No, he is in Arkansas. Arkansas is a great state. As long as you don't live in Little Rock, it's a great state.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Little
No,
Rock's not terrible.
no,
But
I mean, I'm not really hating on Little Rock. Little Rock's it's just a rough, it's like any big city. Let's just put it that way. It's got its issues.
yeah,
I got friends in Little Rock, and I'm sure right now they're going, "Yeah, Joe, bite me." But the rest of the state, first off, Arkansas is one of the most beautiful states in the union. You see, y'all don't know because y'all haven't been there. They got little mountains hidden here, valleys with lakes in them, all kind of great recreation areas.
Right.
Plus, it's the only state I've ever been in that they actually label the spring water and what's in it. I love that. So we're out getting spring water. It actually tells you the mineral content in each spring. And then there's places in these mountains along these different roads where the springs come out, and you can just stop and fill jugs up on the side of the damn road. Yeah, this is not like the rest of the country. That's all I can tell you. And they have some great rocks up there. They got some great crystals. A lot of places you can go dig. I got some friends up there that get geodes they get some monster geodes up there. It's a beautiful state. Most of the people are really, really friendly. I have,
especially in my part.
Yeah,
we're up in the Ozark Mountain part of it. Down south, it's usually pretty flat, soybean fields, and that kind of thing, and cotton. After you get north of Little Rock, it starts getting hilly, and by the time you get to where I'm at, it's very hilly and lots of rivers and lakes, and it's just gorgeous up here.
Oh, he's not kidding. When you leave Louisiana going into Arkansas, it is just basically cotton for I can't even tell you how many miles. It's just ridiculous amounts of cotton fields. And you'll be driving along a big cotton blowing on the damn highway and shit. No, I've always liked Arkansas. We go up there. I know some of my stepkids really like going up there and staying too. It's a really pretty place. It's kind of like Alabama. It's a hidden gem that if you don't know someone there or you actually haven't been there, you don't know what's actually there. Really, as far as some of the little cottage places they have nestled along different rivers and different mountain groups, they've got some stunning chalets along areas in the mountains that are just beautiful. Some along water, some are up in the mountains. Just a beautiful place to go hang out. And it gets cold. It actually gets genuine cold up there, not like it does in the South where, oh, it was cold. Oh, wait, no, it's hot. Oh, wait, it's cold. No, it's hot. Well, no, Arkansas is the South, but we're just further South than he is. That's all. No, come on, dude. I live so far in the South that if you walked out of my house and walked 200 yards, you'd be in a Gulf of Mexico. You can't get any further South than where I live. You'd have to go to Florida. Yes, you'd have to go to Florida to get any further South than where I live. You mean his favorite? You want to know what his most favorite piece are? So wait. I don't understand the question. You're asking, are you asking what his most favorite pieces that he's done, or what his most favorite piece is from someone else has done? Both. Well, that's just cheating. But I'll ask him anyway.
All right, hit me.
So she wants to know, and where, matter of fact, where are you from? New York City. I should have known. I'm not hating. So she wants to know, out of all the work you've ever done, both professional and just for yourself, what is your favorite piece that you've done for yourself or just done in general? And that's going to be a hard one because I can tell you've done a lot of work.
Trying to pick,
and then she wanted to know, out of all the artists that you've personally known or have seen, what is your favorite piece outside of your own work? See, that's hard. Even I would have a hard time with that question because, I mean, how many pieces of artwork are out there?
That's a good one. I mean, I would have to say probably the one that has been like the guiding force, the inspiration in my career is probably Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer,
that's a damn good piece too.
Yeah, which is this, which was this album cover right here that I seen, when I was 8 years old. I seen this.
That was a decent. That album was.
And I stared at it for days and days, and just going through the detail and how things start to get looser and looser as you go back in the distance, but it all works so well together. Then points your eyes where they need to go. And but trying to, when you're 9 years old and you're just transfixed on a piece like this, and you're trying to figure out why is this piece,
why is it grabbing you?
Why is it grabbing me so hard, and making me feel all these feelings and scared and excited and whatever. It's just like I want to do that to somebody. I want to have that kind of effect on people.
Well, I'm sure you have, because I mean, you got a lot of. Well, he's got a lot now. If you want to go see, there's several shows that Tom and I have done, and we've gone through a lot of his stuff. So, but I mean, you just go to his website and just cruise through it. Well, no, that way if you want to buy something,
Yeah.
you're on the website, and you can just pick out something. No, he's got a lot of
Just
stuff.
as a
to go
side
through.
note, Frazetta did 7 pieces of art for Hubbard,
Yeah.
over the years. So we got 7 pieces. It was just it's amazing.
Oh, I've got
art.
some of those pieces too.
Yeah. But
Yes.
we got obviously we got the original paintings.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Michael, I'm hating on Turkey because right now I'm listening to Mission Earth, and that's where their home base is, out of Turkey. Yes, so we're not going there.
Atheon,
Yes,
Turkey.
yeah, we're not going there today, but that's for another show. No, because I'm right now I'm stuck on book at the end of book 5. I was still ready to start book 6, but we'll get into that another day. So I've seen a lot of your stuff. I mean, how would you go about? I mean, you'd have to separate commercial from fantasy anyway.
It's definitely be a fantasy piece, or even maybe.
I mean, because you've got a lot of good stuff, and some of it's kind of crazy looking. So I'm not sure where you would people. I mean, crazy in a good way. People, damn, calm down.
I would say that I love all my pieces pretty equally. I think there's some that I like more than others, but the ones that really stand out are the pieces that get the biggest reaction from the fans, or I can tell that's made some kind of emotional connection with them. Like the Phoenix Rising piece that sold over 2 million pieces. Not my favorite piece. It only took me 8 hours to do the whole thing, and probably my biggest selling commercial piece. And but I love it just because I know so many people grew up with looking at it and having it on their walls and rebuying it when it wore out, just so they can keep that Phoenix on their wall. That makes
I've seen that Phoenix with black lights under it, man. Lord, that thing
was
everywhere for a long time.
Tom Bowman, that was beautiful. It was in his living room. You did that one painting. Your wife was the model. That was gorgeous. You did a painting for Tom Bowman.
Oh right, yeah, I know the one Valkyrie. Was the piece. And,
she made a great Valkyrie too.
Yeah, that wasn't her.
Oh well. Wait.
Oh wait, daughter?
I might be.
Was it your daughter?
No, Emily was way too young to do that. It was just a model, like Echo uses models, stuff like that. No, she was.
No, okay, oh well. Well, no, he uses his wife for a model. That's why I thought that too. But
but yeah, not for that piece for sure. But
Stephanie, you're too ugly to be a model. Just don't even. You could be like the scary girl model. That's what you can be. I'm sorry. I know
what you talking about?
I'm talking to a friend of mine that's giving us trouble. She said something about she could be Tom's most hottest model. And I was thinking, the scariest model.
Don't be mean.
You'd be scared of poor man. Oh, Lord have mercy. People, English in the chat room, not German. Let's go with English. I don't need to be translating. Who did Kata Swadago? I have no idea. You in German. I have no idea what that means. Translate, please. Jimmy, what you got? How old is he? He's like 25 or something. No, really, I think he's 39. I just talking how old you are, Tom.
Oh, really? Is that the guess? 39?
39. Yeah, I'm going with. I think he's 39 too. I mean, look, he looks good, man. Yeah. The girls, y'all can just forget it. So y'all are just being complimentary because he's hot. You just get out of it with these stupid questions. Oh my God.
Yeah, let's go with 39.
Yes, I like 39. Works for me. No, not me, guys. He's 39. I'm like 139. It's yes, when you get old, That's just how it is. You mean? Oh, so you want to know? All right, I'll ask him. Hold on. So Janelle wants to know, out of all the classic artists, who's your favorite? Now you mean classic like 1,000 years or 600 years or more, right? Or 500 years.
Michelangelo.
So see,
he's the man.
Well, see, he answered you right off the bat. Well, I know. I like Michelangelo's work too. I like Leonardo's. I like
Monet.
Yeah, I got a little confused with Van Gogh. I mean, not Van Gogh. Van Gogh's work is okay.
Van Gogh's good. It doesn't grab me like Monet stuff.
Right? And it's weird because when I first seen it, I was thinking, wow, he does have a great command of color. Which, by the way, I'm not an artist of any kind. But there was something the pictures didn't.
Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
Who? What are you talking about? No, you're talking about the Picasso. No, I hated Picasso. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not a Picasso fan.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not even art. It's like some bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't really lend itself to what fantasy artists, are into. Picasso is just he's out there. It's gorgeous stuff. I love it, but it's so far away from what we do.
Yeah, I don't
excel in.
So who's y'all's favorites? Y'all got any favorites? He's not even an artist, Goofus. He was a no. Well, he was an artist, but he wasn't that kind of artist. He was an artist that he wrote stuff. Yes, think about who he is. Think about all the plays he has to his credits, and then you'll realize what I'm talking about. Yes, thank you very much. What's that? Carolyn? No, not Carolyn. Where are you from? Melania? Is that how you say that? Where are you from? Well, I just want to make sure you wasn't Mrs. Trump or something. I was going to be like, all hail to the first lady. Switzerland. Oh, well, hello, Switzerland. I bet you it's cold over there. What do you got for us? Can you buy Tom Wood's art? Well, I would say yes. He can answer for himself, but yes, it's on his website. No, just go look and it's there. It's all priced out and ready to go. He's got a really.
It's right there at the bottom of the screen right now. TomWoodFantasyArt.com.
Right, and you can order any of those pieces on like Giclée prints or stretch canvases, like 40 by 50 canvases if you want to. That I'll ship out to you. So it's and it's available on woven blankets and all kinds of stuff. That I usually take to these different shows and
so. Marilyn's from Los Angeles. She wants to know, what is your favorite venue? You're thought, no, you just the wrong word, but I know what you mean. She wants to know what it is that you like best. You like to use, you like to draw by hand. You like to use one of the programs. Do you like to paint?
That's a great question, because I like to draw by hand just because all the creative part of it. Figuring out what the whole thing's going to look like and be laid out, like that's all done on paper, and that's how I grew up doing it. That's how I still love to do it. All the magic happens on the paper. Once you get that done, and you've already created that visual in your head, so that job is done. Now you just have to get good at the mechanics of putting that on canvas or on paper or on digital. How do you develop those techniques that makes it look like it is in your brain? And even though you have it pretty much cemented what that look is going to be in your brain, as you're drawing it, not only in sketch form, but even in finals, whether it's through oils, acrylics, or digital, things continue to pop up that make gives you new ideas, and the thing just evolves. It just has a life of its own, and it takes its own shapes and directions, and so you really never know exactly what you're going to get until it's done. But usually when it's there, I know it. I know to not overwork a piece. Once it's hit that spot, I'm done. And I'll never go back and mess with it again. That's
important to know that, because some people just can't help themselves. They got to go fiddle with it. I've watched authors and illustrators do that. Oh, it's just not right. No, leave it alone. It's there. Stop. So, what's that, Kimberly? I personally like oils. I don't know why. Something about oils is just rustic to me. It's just, maybe it was what I grew up with. Well, no, I'm all fine with prints and stuff like that, but I don't know. I just like oils. I've got a couple of Larry Harris's original oils. He did some Mardi Gras posters. He did the collection of the angel and Satan and the angel, or the devil and the angel. He did some really good pieces. So, and I got looked up and picked. I like originals, and even if posters, I prefer signed posters. I don't know. I like collectibles. It's one of them things. Well, that's like that album cover he had in his hand. That's a collectible. That's why you see it's in great shape. That's a collectible cover. Well, Frank Frazetta's passed, and Molly Hatchet, I don't want to say they're a thing of the past, but every now and then I hear something about one of the members, but I haven't heard anything. Well, no, I grew up with Molly Hatchet, so it's a little different for me. And yes, no, we didn't play Enter the Sandman tonight, so bite me. It's no, for some, every now and then on the news show I play Enter the Sandman a lot, but it usually is played at least once a night. I don't think I've ever played on this song. It doesn't seem conducive for this particular show. Maria, where are you from, Maria? West London. I thought you said West England. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what well, you kind of had a jumbled up text going on there a little bit. So what do you got for us? What do you mean? Does he? Oh, okay. Well, I'll ask. So she's just asking, have you ever just traveled around the country or traveled around the world, maybe just to do some like little art symposiums just to help out the everyday person? He does have a writer's for the future. Anyway, go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
Not around the country. I mean, I've done it locally. Everywhere that I've ever worked at, I've taken days to go to local schools or art classes in high school and even some colleges and talk to the students there and work with them on occasion. But as far as just taking off from work to go tour the country, giving away free, advice, I've never done that just because my schedule stays busy. It stays busy. And I would be irresponsible if I just took 6 months off to go.
Yeah, he's
too maybe busy in the future. I would say, Larry could do something like that. He could.
Larry might. I mean, he's got the time now.
Like that, and I might do something like that in the future.
I would pay money to hear Larry at a lecture. He's
like I said, I've done even like my local school here at their high school where my daughter Emily went. I work with their art department on a regular basis. I go judge their art competitions they have every year.
That's got to be great.
And work with their students on occasion. And Emily was my favorite student, if you will, because I went in there and worked with her several times. And then even when she got out of school, even if I was contracted at a company, I would make sure to hire her as an intern so she could work alongside me, so she could learn Illustrator and Photoshop and develop her illustration skills. And now, look at her. She's a senior this year. She'll be graduating soon. She's already an art director in an ad agency. She's not even graduated yet, just because she got in early. She worked hard. I was her biggest inspiration, and I was her biggest competition because her goal was, she's fearless. Her goal is to be better than me, and I'm sure she will be at some point. So that's what's got her where she is now. She's got a hell of an attitude and no quit. And I think it's going to take her a long ways. So anyway.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Look, any kids that grow up and actually, somebody said the other day, it's not good when they compete with their parents. No, it is good. The kids need to, we're their first bounce back. We're the first thing they get to bounce off of, I guess is the best way of saying it. So, and we're kind of safe. We're not going to be, we might give them a little trouble, but we're kind of safe. No, kids need to compete. Kids need to. The world is competition, unfortunately. It's not the kind of world that you can just go out and sit on your ass. You're not going to make it.
Right.
Unless you got rich parents. Like, John's he's rich. He can do whatever he wants. But the rest of us poor people got to work. No, I'm teasing. I just like giving John trouble. He knows I like giving trouble. No, he don't have to worry about me. He's got a boss lady who keeps his ass in line. We ain't got to worry about that. Oh, no. I know the other half. She keeps us in line. We ain't got to worry about it. What was that, Wesley? And first off, where are you from, Wesley? Dade County, Florida. So you're outside of Miami. So what do you have for Mr. Woods? What do you got? Well, no, okay. He does the float. And, I'll get him to tell you when it is in just a second. But what you're asking for, we just talked about. It's just you got to have to wait till he retires, and then maybe he'll set up lectures or something like that. Do a little lecture circuit or something. But I know the man, he's busy. He just doesn't stop. And try to do any type of, I know trying to do lectures like that would be insane. No, I can do it because it's different. I do media. So I'm already traveling because of media. So when I'm in a location, I'll stop and do a lecture. Now, usually if I know I'm going to be somewhere, then usually I'll have someone set one up ahead of time. And that way I can do it while I'm there and do it. But it's hard when you're just busy all the time. It's hard to do anything. I mean, you got responsibilities you got to take care of it. He's successful, and he has contracts, and he has other things he's doing, and he works with a lot of different directions. So, yeah, send him money, then he can retire.
Yeah. If you guys want to pay me, $50,000 to show up and do a seminar or something.
Where was that girl that said she wanted to be my sugar mama the other night? There you go. So I'll have to tell you that story off the air. But
Oh, you got a sugar mama lined up.
oh man, no, this was hilarious. She'll love this. This was too funny.
Oh.
And she wrote to me, she said, "I want to be your sugar mama." I said, I'm probably old enough to be your grandpa, right? You can be my sugar mama. Just anyway, we're not going to go there on this show. Who's? Oh, okay. So he said, I have no idea how you pronounce that name. It looks like L.A. No way, girl. What is that? Like Contra? It kind of looks like the Contra effect, but with L.A. in front of it. Anyway, she wants to know, and by the way, she's from Seattle, Washington. She wants to know if you had to pick an oil painting to put in your house, not one of yours, but somebody's just off the wall, off the blue. What oil painting? Who would be the artist, and what painting would it be?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, y'all are tough tonight, man. What is with these?
No,
it's not
I
good.
probably if I had to pick, it would probably be one of Larry Elmore's original pieces that he did for Dungeons and Dragons.
That'd be a
Just
good
because
piece.
I know Larry, I'm great friends with him, and I know that he doesn't like to let go of it, and it would mean a lot more if I was able to take it away from him.
Larry, if you listen, I had nothing to do with that, man. That was good.
No, Larry is he's a great friend of mine and a huge
Larry's
inspiration
great,
in my career. And having the pieces that he did for D&D and like the cover that he did for the not the Dungeon Master's Guide, but the Player's Handbook with the red dragons and stuff like that was just crazy. And I looked at it when I was looking at that when I was 10 years old or 12 years old. And even though I didn't play D&D, I read through all the books, looked at all the sketches and pictures of it. It was a huge inspiration. And to finally get to meet and work with Larry and be able to, kick back and have a beer and have a conversation with this man 30 years later means more than you can know. So having a piece of his original works on my wall would probably mean more to me than anything.
Yeah, well, Larry would be a great piece to have. Matter of fact, I was messing with him last time we seen him in LA. He was showing me this oil that we had presented on the show when he was on last time. I was like, "You should give me that, Larry." He started laughing. He goes, "Sure, Joe." I'm like, "No, really, Larry." I said, "Man, come on, I love you." He said, "Yeah, I don't love you that much." I'm sorry. No, Larry's a great. Y'all go back and listen to the archives. Cheese House says, "How much for time to be in my living room?" I said, "I guess it would depend on what you want him in the living room for."
Cheese House, was it? Did you say Cheese House?
Yeah, Cheese House. During the chat, in this chat with us, you can see it's off to the right. It's of the screen. It says, and then he says, "Where's the real chat? The real chat? You're in the real chat. Oh, you're looking for the Messenger. No, Messenger is just. I have 5,000 friends on Messenger. On all three of my messengers, I have 15,000 friends, and they think it's funny to message me from chat. Yes, because we're not on Pal Talk anymore, so they just think it's funny to message me in chat." Yeah, I've always had a following, a few hundred people that follow me around for just questions. Well, yeah, I love Tom too. He's great.
Full disclosure, I know Cheese House. He's a good friend of mine. Performed, very talented. Performed at the Float last year, and just what a character, and just a great person. Probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. And
that's always good.
So. I appreciate the question and the support. I'm sure I'll be seeing you at Juggalo Weekend in not Dallas, in El Paso or something. I think this year. So,
what's that?
Thank you.
What's that? Helen, can he sing? Wait, can who sing? Can Cheese sing or can Tom sing? Oh, can Tom sing? Okay, look, I didn't know. You just said, can he sing?
What?
I don't know. She just said, can Tom Wood sing? And I was like,
why would that even be? That's crazy. But I don't, I do a wicked karaoke, I've been told. So, but I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do it here. Not without some background music and maybe some,
Yeah, something going on besides just a cappella.
Do that possibly.
Yeah. If we get John involved, there we go. Cheese says at the Alamo. Oh, at the Alamo. They do concerts at the Alamo, really? I didn't know that. Of course, I ain't been to the Alamo since I was like 13. So, and then we got banned from the place. Yes. We're getting short on time because we got to end a little early. So I'll let y'all get in a couple more questions, but that's it. So let's do some foreigners. I know we got quite a few people in from overseas. Where is Martha? Where? Yeah, I know you're in Germany, and oh, there you are. Well, no, I couldn't find your question. I was looking for your question. She wants to know. She said she's an up and coming illustrator. She said, now wait, she's 40 years old, and she just sometime about 10 years ago, she realized she had a talent for art. But she also wanted to say you were right, because when she was a kid, she drew all over everything. But her parents said no, go get a real job, which she did. She went and got a real job as a lawyer, which she said she always hated. And she said, but if you had to give an up and coming artist, somebody who's in the field and has started to actually sell, what advice would you give them to make the next step forward, to get from that where I'm selling a couple pieces, but I'm not really making any real money, to make that, okay, here I am, I'm making commercial money. That's
Well, I think you have to have a platform to be able to put your work in, because there's so many talented artists that even come to Writers of the Future that've been doing it for a while, and either with today's social media, there's no reason you can't get your artwork out there. But if you had a client that's going to put it in some kind of publications, just like Live Nation put it over, 1 billion shirts when they did the ICP shirts, that kind of exposure opens your work up to lots of eyes and lots of entrepreneurs that see your work and think, there's some talent here. I think I can make some money off this kid. And that's networking, exposure, putting out a good product, most of all. But that's just it. And there's a little bit of luck to it, just perseverance and just a little luck. And that's what you got to do. But if you're putting out a good product, it'll eventually hit. You may put out your favorite painting in the world ever 5 years before you actually make it, because there's just no one there to see it at the time.
yeah.
So, but that one piece, if it gets in front of the right pair of eyes, then your career can take off.
It's true. It's true, people, because I got archives I did a long time ago, we'll say. Many moons ago, 25 moons ago, or 25 years ago, that all of a sudden, out of the blue, have become extremely popular. Yes, this is when I was a rookie. I was nervous on air. I tend to be aggressive. I mean, come on. I got in an argument with my first guest I ever had. No, I mean, it was a bad argument, but for some reason, those have become extremely popular. But the reason why is because now I have a big enough following that people are going back and looking for prior works that I've done, because they've seen all the stuff or heard all the stuff I've done in the last few years. Oh, there's lots of people. I've done my personal archives over 3,000, so have fun. Yes. Martin Maxhouse is writing in. He is from Westchester, England. This is for John, by the way. He said he's an author, and he said, is there any cheats that could get him into the contest? What do you mean by cheats?
Cheats.
I don't know. What do you mean
by any real cheats? I mean,
no.
Yeah, we're gonna see your artwork, and if you're cheating, or if there's some kind of cheat, we'll see it. If you want to use this AI to try to do it, we can spot it a mile away. So I would say, especially when it comes with the kind of direction that you're going to get from the staff and Echo, it's going to be hard to cheat. Yeah, so I would say, if you don't think that, if you feel the need that you need to cheat, you're probably not going to be at this caliber of artist that's in this program.
Yeah, we had somebody that just came up last. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you good.
Okay, good. We had an artist that came up last week, actually, who submitted their final art for because what happens is the 12 writer winners are paired up with the 12 illustrator winners, and the artist submitted their piece of art for the final story, and it looked odd, and so Echo checked it out, and it turned out they were using AI, and this person was being very deceitful, and so they received their award money, having won, and I won't say the person's name, but then said, well, you need to return the money. That's not fair. It says, no, I've already spent. I was searching. I didn't see the rules, because we put it in the rules last year that no AI art was allowed. And so she was able to tell, because there's apps you can use to be able to search out and see if art's AI. And so she challenged them. I said, yeah, it was. And they said, well, I felt badly about it, so I gave the money to my church, so I don't have it anymore. And
Did you get a receipt for that?
So
I'm not going to say
qualified, and we're trying to pursue separate match to dispute and get the money back. But then we picked another winner, and it's going to be in volume 40. But yeah, if you're going to try to cheat, you'll be found out about, and that totally defeats. You put up a rule and say, okay, look at no AI. Then of course you're going to get some whack jobs. They're going to go, okay, I want to see if I can game and beat it. And so the AI storytelling, people try to do that, and our judges you can see the AI stories and they get disqualified immediately. But it's just a few years ago we had the plagiarism became an issue, and so then there's apps on Google where you can see if somebody's plagiarized art, and so we got those ruled out. But then now the AI, people trying to game it, it just, you'll get found out. And worst case, what's going to happen if you do quote unquote successfully game the system, come in there, it's going to show up when you go to the classes. Okay, here's your sketches, here's your live, your live sessions. We have models. You come and sketch, and the person won't be able to sketch, because you don't know how to.
Well, it was like what Tom was saying earlier when he was talking about drawing. When I asked him about the question, he was talking about drawing. Usually for art, there's going to be some progression to the final product. So it should be easier. It should be easier to find. And as far as the author stuff goes, frankly, most of the books I've seen from AI, how can I say this politely? They suck. So we're not even going to worry about that as much.
Well, that's how
But in all fairness, the banner for UFO on the cover right now is AI art. It's the one Jeff Weiner made. That's when I called you that night. But this is funny, people. So Jeff Weiner comes to my show, starts telling me about this AI shit. I called John as soon as the show was over. I said, "What the bleep are we doing about this bleep and stuff?" And because guys, AI scared me a little bit when we first did it, because the banner came out so nice that I was like, "Well, shit." And it cost absolutely nothing. I was kind of like, well, this could not be a good thing. And then he did the comic book, and it made the whole comic book. And I was like, whoa, I'm not liking this.
Yeah, well, copyrighted.
Yeah. Well, you can't. That's the problem. You can't copyright any of that stuff. No, Clara. No, I'm not kidding you. As soon as that show ended, I called John, because this was a big deal, and I wanted to know what they were doing about it. And because you can't, it's not. Look,
no, we changed the rules last year in the book. They're publishing no AI stories and no AI art.
I'm not. See, this is the problem. I was talking with what's his name? Hey guys, I was talking with Carl the other day, who runs. He does. What's up, babe? Yeah, I'm on the air. Hold on. Yeah, on the radio. It's this. I told you I got a house full of people. It's so. He runs a company down here that hires artists and hires writers. He works for a bigger company who makes gaming. So they hire a lot of people. So he told me, we went to lunch a couple of weeks ago, and we sat down. This was a big interview, and I said, "Look, how are you addressing this?" I said, I got too many friends now that are in these fields. I don't want to see them out of work because of this. He said, "Well, that's not how this is going to work." He said, "We're going to use AI. I'm not going to lie to you." So I said, "Not so much the storytelling, but for the artists, we're definitely." He said, "But." He said, "I'm not getting rid of any of my artists." He said, "So I'm teaching all my artists what AI is, and I'm teaching them how to use it. And so they're now, they come up with original concept, and then they let the AI do it in mass, so they don't have to do it in mass." He said, each one is responsible for the AI art coming from them. So they're still developing the art, but for some reason they're letting AI mass produce it. I was like, and he has said they do use the AI to kind of cheat sometimes to help the artist in the development process. He said, but he's not getting rid of his artists. He said, because they're too important, because it's not so much. He said it's what word am I looking for? The imagination. He said the AI just does not truly have true imagination yet. He said yeah, you can tell it what you want. And he said, but it misses out on some of the finer details. Like if you go look at the banner I got, it's a really good banner, But if someone had drawn this by hand and then did it themselves, there would be more detail in this piece of art than what you got with the AI.
So you're always going to people that like music,
Yeah.
it's not music. So it's the very cheap, low level stuff. And that's what you're going to get right now with AI and AI storytelling. Tom, what's your view on AI stuff? I mean, I'm very much.
No, I play with AI, and I belong to, like, Tate Licensing is my art agent. He deals with he's Frazetta's estate's agent and Echo's agent, but the people that I go to these shows with that we usually do in Vegas, they introduced me to AI last year and what its capabilities were, and I've even used it for like the generative fills and stuff like that. But when you if you read a story and like every one of us, we form these images in our brain based on dozens of pages and chapters that we've read over this character. And there's no way within 10 words that you're going to type that in and come close to the picture that your brain has concocted. No way.
I agree.
So let them try it with the AI, and that's fine. But as far as something that's truly organic and built over not 5 seconds as it generates the picture, but over hours of learning what this character looks like based on the author's descriptions and subtleties, that's only something that could be done in the human brain right now.
And I agree that
different creature creations like we've seen in the movies and stuff, that's all got to come out of someone's brain. And
unfortunately for the AI, I noticed the more it learns, the stupider it gets. I don't know what's going on with that lately. Y'all can use it for whatever you want. And like I said, it did make one of our banners. It's the only banner on the network, though, that's ever been generated by AI. Because I'm kind of anti-AI. If as long as it doesn't cost anybody a job, I'm fine with it. I just, like I said, I got too many friends in the fields now. I don't want to see it costing them work. So far, all the people I've talked to that are in positions to hire artists are going to keep their artist staff. They're going to incorporate AI in different places. And like Tom said just a few minutes ago, or John said a few minutes ago, AI is not copyrightable. You can't copyright it. You don't own it. So if you make a piece of art that goes freaking viral and somebody else decides they want to sell it, you're just out of luck. They can sell it. Yeah, unfortunately that's the game right now. So, well, there's companies that want to develop their own AI so they can copyright it. But even the Fed said, even if you develop your own AI, we're still not going to let you copyright it. Eventually, somebody will grease Congress enough that somebody will get a copyright. But right now, it's not copyrightable. Neither one is copyrightable. Not the art, not the writing, or the artwork. And that's a good thing for artists because, man, look, that could be a dangerous little toy.
It's true.
Who wants to lose money to a freaking computer? No, I know. One more question, and we're gonna get out of here. Let's take somebody. You know what? I know Johnny Wright is down there in Sydney. Johnny, how you doing in Sydney, baby? How you liking it down there? You wishing your buddy Chris would come home? No, I'm never coming to Australia. No. Jim Sparks tried to get me to come down. All he wants me to come speak. He's always saying to me, "Yeah, I'll pay for the whole thing. I ain't going to Australia." No, you Aussies are too much like me. I get in trouble for sure. I might not make it back to the U.S. Anyway, what question do you have? Oh, well, no, this ain't. So he wants to know how many head of cattle you got. He don't even care about the artwork.
Wow.
He says he raises cows. I know. He said, "Well, I raise cows. How many heads of cattle he got? What kind of cows you got? What you got? You got black Angus with a couple white-faced black Angus. Okay, well, they're okay cows.
Molly-faced cows. Yeah. Well, I love black Angus.
Yeah.
And
they're good.
but, we've got, of my herd, which is Red Brangus, it's 5/8 Angus and 3/8 Brahma, which does good in the rocky terrain around here. Also, they take the heat a lot better. And if you're in Texas, it's hot on the cows, and it's hard on them. They do much better, especially Angus do better in wet conditions and cold than they do in heat. So that's what the Red Brangus is. That allows them to thrive in more of a rocky terrain. Like
good looking cow too.
How many do you have, Tom?
I have 130. Just mama cows. I mean, that could grow to 165, 175, depending on the calving season, which usually lasts a month and a half, 2 months. because they're all bred at the same time, and so we have calf crops in the spring and in the fall. So not in the heat of the summer and not in January when it's really cold. So we control the breeding periods. So we have like 5 or 6 sire bulls that go out, and we put them to work to make sure everything gets serviced.
Everybody's job's getting taken care of
in June, and so they have their babies in March, when it's getting nicer and there's lots of green grass. So red Brangus, that's our babies. So if you want to go see the farm, you could go to Woods Dye. Not that anybody wants to do this, but this one person may. If you would go to Woods Dye Branch, DYE branch.com, you can see the farm, you can see the cows.
There you go. Yeah, he probably would like that.
Calves for sale, all kinds of good stuff, and lots of pictures, a big gallery of the farm itself, and
there you go. So you'd be right up, Stephen. What are you talking about? You're doing a limousine, Angus. That's a whole different cow. And how many of those do you actually have? 15. Yeah. See, that's a whole different cow. That's a lot of money, man. I mean, that's not. Yeah, them limousine cows ain't exactly cheap. Well, no cow's cheap, man. I mean, I think right now the cheapest thing in the market is probably around $3,000 a cow. And no, you'd be surprised what cows are worth. I'm not kidding you, man. You'd be surprised.
They're going for around $2 a pound these days. So and more for if it's like a young steer or something like that, it'll go for better. But the limousine it's a big animal. They're big.
It's like
they're dark,
monster.
Gorgeous dark red color, slick. I mean, limousine are one of my favorite breeds.
Yeah, they're a monster cow, man.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, well, no, they're expensive, and I mean, if you can look, I'm more power to you if you can raise them, because you can make a living on those. You can make a living on any good herd as long as you got a good herd, and you, like Tom was talking about, the breeding. That's always important. Now I got a couple uncles. They don't do like they used to. They used to have huge herds. Now I think they're down to 400 or 500 cows, but it's and they're shrinking it as they go. Well, they've been selling off their land. See, they had 20 something, I think it was 2,650 acres, and some of that was actually bog and marsh, but they've been selling it off. And like Holiday Inn came in and bought 50 acres from them for like $6 million. They were like, "Yeah, we'll sell you that, no problem." It's just like a hunk of rock somewhere. So anyway, they just been slowly, but the family sells off, and every time somebody dies, it gets diversified. So instead of keeping it together. Yeah, and eventually, I think when the old man passes, the herd will get split up, and land will get split up, and that's how that'll be. One last question. I keep saying last question. Where are you from anyway? Brazil. Where Brazil? I can't even pronounce that. I've never even heard of that. Brazil. Where the hell is that? I thought you said Belize at first. Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Brazil? You mean South America, Brazil?
Yeah, Brazil and South America. So what question do you have for Tom? That's a dumb question. Ask me a real question. How do you win the contest? He's going to tell you the same thing I am. Be a damn good artist and you can win. There's no shortcuts. I keep telling people that when I got asked at the lecture just recently, if there's shortcuts, there is no shortcuts.
The easiest way to be able to have a chance to win the contest is you have to first enter the contest.
Right, enter the contest.
If you don't enter, you guarantee you'll guarantee never win. But if you have to enter, then enter again. And once you get to a certain level, Echo will start giving you critiques, and you'll start getting that. And then once you get to that higher level, then that's how you win. You just persist.
Writersofthefuture.com, people. Writersofthefuture.com. And if you want to buy something, galaxypress.com. Yes. What is that? Who? Oh, no. Yeah, no. Okay. From Mexico City. I haven't seen you in a while, Hunkles. Huskus? Is that how you say it? Huskus? I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? Yeah, no, Mexico City's great, man. What's happening down there?
All right.
Oh, you want to invite Tom down for this? What? Y'all got a book? Oh, so y'all got a book festival, a book and artist festival? Well, you know what? His email is online, or you can catch it from his on there and email a man and ask him. I don't know about Mexico City right now. It's not really dangerous, but I've been there a couple of times. Yeah. I went to go see the big, massive city, behind it, the Toltec city. Yes,
I've been to book shows in Mexico City, and then we just finished attending Guadalajara Book Fair.
Oh, that. So you want him to come down and wait, what? Oh, and paint the other city in oil. You have to pay him for that. That's a commission, man. And I don't think he's just going to come down there for cheap. I mean, Mexico City's way down there, and that would be a massive painting. I mean, that's a massive city. It's not like it's one little temple or something. I mean, that thing is huge.
What's the commission? What do they want me to paint?
So, but there's a city. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's a Toltec city. It used to be, I guess, the old Mexico City before the Toltecs had it. It's a massive city that was abandoned, just left there, and there's a bunch of temples. There's a pyramid. There's all kind of stuff there, and it's a great place to go, exploring it because it's really kind of weird. But painting it, yeah, I tell you what, get his email the man and find out. If you're going to fly him down, set him up in Mexico City, he's going to want some money to paint this, especially if he's doing it in oil. It ain't going to be cheap. I'm not his agent, but I'm just telling you, it ain't going to be cheap. And don't even, if you're going to be a cheap ass, don't even bother contacting me. You'll embarrass me. Don't do that. No, I'm serious. Don't. I mean, look, nobody does nothing for free anymore. And I think it would be, and I think he would do a great job on it. I think it would be a great picture, and I think he'd do a great job. But anyway, we got to go right to the man. You want him to come down there, I'd say 50 G's to start would be a good bidding price. You sure what I said to start? Yes. No, that's just to get his maybe look at you. I don't think you're going to get it for that. No, I think you have to pay more, but he might actually look at you. 50 cents, I'll think about it. No, look, before we go, and this is true for all artists, including myself, don't be insulting when you write to somebody, okay? When you look at jobs like these, these are serious jobs. There's a serious commission. It's like when somebody asked me to come down and set up a lecture or set up a conference. No, I'm not coming down there for $500 and do it. Yeah, it's going to cost you 25 G's at least. Yeah, I mean, because it's a pain in the ass and it's a lot of my time. And in the long run, I'm not really getting anything out of it but the money. So it's in the same thing. Yeah, write to him. You might get lucky. I don't know. You write to the man and he'll tell you. Tell him what you want. I tell you what, when you write the letter, write it in detail so he's at least got an idea. Take some pictures or something. Yeah, shoot some pictures. No, I'm not an artist. I'm just trying to help you out. Is all I'm trying to do. Anyway,
we want to be able to wish everybody a happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes, we got to go, guys and girls.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a pleasure as usual. I can't wait to see you guys again.
No, I can't wait.
Tom. Yeah.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank everyone for hanging out with Arthur's Quill and hanging out with Tom and John and I. Hope everyone has a great holiday. Okay, a great Christmas, a great Kwanzaa. Yeah, great whatever you happen to celebrate. I don't personally care what it is you're celebrating. I'm celebrating Christmas because my family's Christmas. No, it's not because I'm Christian, but it's because it's Christmas. My Jewish friends, I hope they're enjoying that at Hanukkah. But anyway, guys, really and truly, have a great holiday. Have a safe holiday. Have a fun holiday. Yep. See y'all after the new year. And, remember, be nice. Be friendly. Hug somebody. Good night, everybody.